You bought that sweet new car, dude. You got that brand new 16% APR Corvette convertible that you pay $800 a month, half your paycheck, and you don't even know where the rest of your money goes. Welcome to the military. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic, and that is, do you need a car in the military? Question that's very valid, very honest, that you may or may not need one. So I kind of want to go deep dive into what your expectations are, because a lot of people are curious about getting their freedoms. So, boot camp, obviously, no car. All right, A school, it depends on your A school. Plan on most of them saying no, because most of them are too short. Realistically, you're not going to be there long enough, and you have Uber, Lyft. I mean, you've got so many other things that you could worry about and put your money towards and save money on. If you have a car before the military that's paid off, that you trust somebody with, that can sit there and you pay minimal interest and say it's not going to move, I would do that. If you have a payment that's just ridiculous and you want to get out of it, I'd sell it. You're probably going to be able to recoup your loss pretty fast in the military. Also, understand you're probably going to have more buying power once you're in the military to save up money from when you're in boot camp, A school, and when you get to your first command, maybe your first deployment, stuff like that. So you will typically be able to have your first car when you are at your first command. Now, the reason why I really avoid people having a car when they first come in is because the fact that you are literally going to never know where you're going to end up as far as duty station. So if you end up in Spain or Gitmo or some other place where you don't bring your car because you're not allowed or whatever else, or you can just buy a beater while you're there and save a lot of money, that's probably the best way to go to save money. I'll give you my experience, because I actually had a 95 Camry that stayed at my grandmother's house while I was in boot camp in A school. So that was amazing of her to help me out with that. And then I just took my car from Maryland, drove it to Portsmouth for my C school. From C school, I drove it all the way to California, which was where I had that car until it pretty much died. But anyway, yeah, I ended up keeping that car for a good while, and it actually paid off because I paid $2,500 for the car and it lasted me 5 years. So if you can make that happen and take care of your car for 5 years, you're going to be fine. I saved so much money doing that. Other thing I want to let you know is, a lot of times when you are at your base, for example, if any of you guys have been at Naval Base, San Diego, Norfolk, any of that stuff, typically, you're going to live on the base already. A lot of people live closer to the pier to ride a bike. Knowing these areas that you may end up, or any other military base, to be honest, the traffic is insane, where parking may be hard to find. So realize you may not want to actually drive too much, other than if you're going to leave on the weekends. Obviously, if you live out in town, you're going to eventually need to buy a car. I do know a few people that have not had license because they're from New York City or some other big city where they didn't need a license or to drive their car. Once you join the military, it's kind of a good thing to have a license, because there's stuff that you can do, like duty driver, which is an easier job for many places for duty. Also, you may have to actually drive a government vehicle for some purpose. So that's why I always suggest just get your license before you even come in the military, because not having it, I find it harder, because then you have to go through someone teaching you that you don't even know and trying to figure that whole game out. And this will go for bikes as well. I know a lot of people are concerned about getting a motorcycle. Yes, you can get motorcycles. Okay, that's understood. Typically not at an A school, because they don't want you riding any kind of bikes. But when you get to your first command, they will make you have a basic rider course. They're going to make you have an advanced rider course as well. Eventually, they're pretty much just, when you join the military, be prepared to do every course. Just say, yes, okay, I'll do it. Well, where do you need me? Where do I need to be at, so I don't get in trouble for riding my motorcycle? Because that is just so tedious as far as like making sure you have every check and balance. Also will save you a little money on insurance, but it does suck because you're just trying to get everything done to meet the requirements for the military, because it is more strict. I do suggest getting a motorcycle for more populated areas like San Diego where you have good weather, and if you're experienced, obviously it's nice because you can cut a lot of the traffic because there is lane splitting, so getting to the front and missing a lot of that base traffic and finding parking is way easier. If any of you guys have been to San Diego and you look at the parking lot, you see tons of motorcycles because it's worth it in the time alone. I will say this, leasing a car is gonna be the most expensive way to do it. I do know people have done it because they wanna have that new Beamer or the Mercedes or whatever else. Avoid that if you can. Go out and get the cheap car, and then when you make a couple $100 extra when you're E3 or E4 in rank, and you've done a deployment, saved up some money for a down payment on that car to make it a little less burdensome, do that, trust me. If you don't know about how to buy a car, when you should get a car, go to Fleet and Family Services. They are on base, amazing services. They'll calculate what you can anticipate, what the dealer's gonna try and give you, what you can actually afford. You can even do pre-approved loans through Navy Fed, USA, and a lot of other military affiliated banks that will make your time and experience a little easier and give you guys a little bit more buying power. So I hope this helped you guys. Consider if you need a car, don't need a car, because it kind of gives you the spectrum of what you can expect as far as driving while you're in the military. I do think that it is essential. It just depends on where you're at and what your living situation is. But if you do have questions about driving a car or anything else in the military, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.